This week, Kendrick Lamar does an interview in Harper's Bazaar with SZA, which has me questioning what hip-hop journalism really means. Let's get into it.
The STEM Society.
Welcome back to another episode of STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. Episode 66 is live. I hope you guys are having a great middle of the week. I hope the first half didn't kill you. Hopefully the second half will be smooth sailing. I only really have one topic I want to talk about, but before I get into that, I have to talk about Tribe Called Quest going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think that was like the dopest thing I ever seen in my life. Tribe is one of my favorite groups. They've been super inspirational with a lot of things in my life as far as like hip hop is concerned. And to see them go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it means everything. If you guys didn't see the ceremony or just see their induction, it was amazing. Dave Chappelle actually introduced them. Q-Tip gave a really great speech. If you haven't seen that, go watch it on YouTube. It's dope, man. It was fire. They ushered in a different style of hip hop, and they were one of those groups that just were way ahead of their time when it came to producing or when it came to the different types of styles within the group. They were just one of those groups that just blew my mind, and I'm super excited, or I'm glad that they got their chance to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is another win for hip hop. And don't get me wrong, Mary J. Blige getting in is great, and Kool and the Gang and all of those other acts getting in is great. But for me and my little hip hop heart, it just was so cool to see somebody like Tribe get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So salute you guys, and man, I can't wait to see who else from our culture gets put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Music news.
So there's really one story that I wanted to talk about, and that is the whole thing with the Kendrick Lamar interview in Harper's Bazaar. So if you haven't seen it all over, Kendrick Lamar did an interview with Harper's Bazaar where he sat down with, of all people, SZA. And people are going crazy or going at this interview because they feel like he didn't sit down with, one, a platform that wasn't hip hop. Two, he actually got softball, quote unquote, softball questions from somebody who's not a real hip hop journalist. And three, it felt like he kind of turned his back on a lot of the hip hop platforms that we have. So I read the interview, and let me just make this point clear first off. He puts in the very beginning of this, in a paragraph in the very beginning of the interview,
Lamar wanted SZA to interview him. It's a move that makes sense when, later on, Lamar explains that he processes information best through connections with others. The two are former label mates who toured together as they were coming up.
So Harper's Bazaar gives us a disclaimer off the bat saying, well, this is who he chose to be his interviewer. I get it. I was having a conversation with another person who does hip hop media. Shout out to Hakeem from Decipher Media, and we both were talking about this. And one thing that he said, which could be proven true, is that is the TDE way: protect the brand at all costs, protect who you are at all costs. A lot of these people who are out here doing hip hop journalism don't think about that. Makes perfect sense. So I go through the interview. Let me just say this. I did not like it. I thought that the interview was very, I think they were trying to get into these spiritual chakras about like how do you feel in your mental health, and I get that. I feel like doing an interview with your friend, and I've said this before when the Carisha Please interview. Doing an interview with your friends is basically just saying, I'm going to roll something out and you guys are going to just have to take what I give you. I don't like that approach. As much as I love Kendrick, as much as I think Kendrick is one of the better rappers out here, I have to be honest. Doing it through Harper's Bazaar, that don't sit right with me. There's so many other hip hop platforms that he could have went to. My first thoughts was Elliott Wilson and what he's going on right now. He's actually somebody who's been in the game for a while. He knows how to give great interviews. I'm Rap Radar. If you watch this, if you watch this show, come back. I miss those types of interviews. I think B Dot and Elliot Wilson could have given a great interview. They could have given a great interview with Kendrick. They've done it before. It just says a lot when we have one of the biggest names in hip hop not doing interviews with hip hop. And then you start looking back at the history of what people have been doing in these past few years. Like when you think about it, man, like nobody goes to our platforms anymore. And I don't know if that's saying that the genre is bad. I don't know if it's saying that we've accepted so much bullshit or so much clout chasing in the genre or in hip hop media that they don't want to deal with us, or is it saying that these people don't feel like we're good enough to get those interviews? This kind of move was more of a PR stunt than it was giving us something credible or something to chew on. Did she ask about Not Like Us? She asked what Not Like Us means. I hated the answer. I hated the question. I just hated how all of this was put together. There are some really good people out here that's a part of hip hop journalism that could have gotten a lot of those same answers from him, plus more. Me being a person that's a part of the culture, a part of the hip hop culture, I can't be cool with this because this doesn't speak to me. I don't know if he's trying to speak more to mainstream audiences. I don't know if he's trying to speak more to the spiritual side of hip hop or whatever the case may be, because they go through the different beats, which I'm getting tired of this year in hip hop as well. I can't wait till 2025 gets here. Mental health, which I understand is important. They go through the same beats of spirituality, trauma. I grew up from doing this. I had to change my way of doing all of these things, and I got here because of surpassing trauma or having some type of therapy. That's great. That's great if you're trying to speak to a 27-year-old white woman who lives in the Midwest. That's wonderful. But for me, as a hip hop fan who most definitely am a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, that's not giving me what I'm looking for. I don't all 100% put this on Kendrick and SZA and Harper's Bazaar. I put it on us. A lot of the stuff that happens in hip hop or in hip hop media is our fault, and a lot of the stuff that we've allowed, as far as niggas like Adam 22 and academics, and I bring them up because they're two of the biggest names. We've allowed them to do so many trash things with the culture and with the genre that why would anybody want to sit down and do an interview with either one of those? Now, if you listen to academics, and he said it several times, he ain't begging for you. Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole, I'm not begging any of you. I'm bigger. He's bigger than the culture. He's bigger than that. Which I say to him, then go somewhere else. Stop covering hip hop if you're bigger than that. And nobody has to beg for anything. I think it's great to have any one of those artists sit down and actually do interviews with us. It pisses me off that we can't get real interviews from a lot of the bigger names in hip hop. The same conversation I was having with Hakeem, he said it best. When once you reach a certain level, it's publication only, and we don't sit down and do those interviews. And I agree to a point. I think that hip hop fans and people who are part of the culture deserve to have something outside of just sitting down. Half the niggas I know who listen to hip hop don't even know what Harper Bazaar is, bruh. I was like, Harper's Bazaar? What? It's predicating to the mainstream audience, which I get. I think Kendrick and the success he's had in 2024 has most definitely put him in the eyes of a lot of different people that's never known who he is or what he was about. I just feel like it's very unfair to not give an opportunity to some type of hip hop platform, even if it isn't mine. As much as people might not like Charlemagne, if you look at his interview series here recently, he's been putting out really good content. If you haven't watched it because you don't like the guy, I get it. But I hunger for those types of interviews, the Big Sean interview, the Glorilla interview, Those are like two of my favorite interviews from this year that he's done. The fact that we get DJ Head's another person. He just had a interview with Ab Soul, which I think was completely good. Like, there's people out here who care about the culture, and there's people out here who care about doing real hip hop journalism, but we're so caught up with like the clout chasing shit or the messy Jerry Springer type bullshit that a lot of these clowns bring to the space, and it's like, I'm sick of it. I think it's also telling that two of the most hip hop uncultured ass niggas are yelling the loudest. Academics just went on a rant on his stream talking about how this is more hurting other niggas in hip hop journalism and not him, which kind of says a lot because he don't give a fuck about the culture. He gives a fuck about his pockets. He gives a fuck about making the next deal. He gives a fuck about people worshiping him. And Adam 22 also having a bit to say about it, talking about those. He went in on those softball questions. Well, man, maybe if your shit wasn't such a clown show, you would be able to get these types of interviews. But they don't want those interviews. That doesn't matter to them. So I just really think right now we're just in a crazy space when it comes to hip hop journalism. I think we're in a space where people don't respect the newer platform or don't have an opportunity to sit down with the newer platforms. And then the tweet from Punch comes out.
I respect hip-hop journalism and feel it's needed in its truest form. It helped keep the culture alive, but it's only a few real ones left. Most of you guys are trash. Just my opinion. That's why artists don't want to talk to you.
I completely get where Punch is coming from. I understand. I get it, bro. But I also understand that we didn't piss in the pool. Or at least I didn't. I think there's a lot of people out here who didn't piss in the pool when it comes to hip hop journalism or how it's being received. Whose fault is it that there's so much trash hip hop journalism out here? I'm just asking. I want to know these things because what are you doing on your end to make sure the people who actually respect the craft are getting the accolades they deserve or getting their flowers? It's real easy to sit up here and judge because you things are going your way, and I get it. But who do y'all run to when it comes time to promote the album? Who do y'all run to when it comes time for us to be able to give praise to these different albums? And don't get me wrong, TDE puts out a great product. I'm never going to say that they don't because, again, most of the albums that they've dropped this year have been some of my favorites. So I'm not saying that. But it's like, well, damn, bro, are we only good enough when it comes time to promote? The good side of hip hop journalism, that is. Are we only good enough when it comes time for us to be able to push somebody out there? And I'm not just talking about Punch. I'm talking about a lot of these other people out here in the music industry that shit on the people who want to do the real shit and always go to the bullshit niggas. People like me, people like other independent content creators, we don't get an opportunity because, well, our following is not big enough. Of course, we might put out the best content out there, but there's still a lot of people who have way more subscribers than I do or have way more followers or way more content than I do that still has to do shit interviews because you niggas on the other side don't want to give us an opportunity to do our job the correct way. Everybody out here ain't for the clout chase. People out here really respect the craft and respect the art of hip hop. Tyler, the Creator, said it best.
A musician who you know for music is being interviewed on a platform about music, talking in detail about music, his passion and what he's known for. And people are like, why does he keep doing that? But, you know, if I was on here gossiping or talking about so-and-so who got beef, oh man, people will feed into it. And it's like, no, we need to get back to talking about music. Talk about your album, talk about music, talk about the 15 songs that you guys have spent time to get mixed and mastered and put your heart into and produced and did all these things. And then when the album comes out and it sells 2 copies, everyone's confused. But it's like, they don't want to talk about the music or the album. They rather fucking go eat chicken wings and sneaker shop. And like, so I hope that overall, every musician gets to a point where they sit and speak about their music and the music that they love, and the conversation about music just comes
and
back.
There's a side of hip hop culture and a side of hip hop journalism that actually wants to sit down and ask some really good questions. And not all of us are going to sit up here and be hip hop nerds and nerd out when it comes to that. I think we can do impactful conversations and impactful interviews to get people a better understanding of the artist. When you do an interview, it's not about It ain't about me when I sit down with somebody. I've done quite a few interviews. It ain't about me. It's about the artist. It's about what they want to push, and it's about how they want to present themselves. For me, that's how I look at it. I never make an interview about me. I make it about the artist, and I make it about what they want to portray and what they want to show to the public. My questioning has to lean towards what my research is, and it also has to lean towards how we're going to get this name out here to people so they know this person is somebody important. But when you sit up here and put your tweets out here and be like, well, most of these niggas is trash, and not really specify, well, why it's like this. Nobody out here wants to give a true explanation of why shit is fucked up. They just want to call it fucked up. You niggas pick academics as the one. There's people out here who's willing to do the work and they never get the opportunity. It's always the clown show that gets the opportunity. And I think that's bull. I think that's BS, complete and total BS. Am I upset that it's like this? Yes. What am I trying to do to help it? I'm trying to give you guys the best content I possibly can. I'm trying to give you guys I'm trying to give you honest opinions about hip hop commentary, because I don't have connections to these niggas. I don't know none of these niggas. But I also understand there's a lot of us out here who just want the opportunity. And we want to get in the room to say, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to give to the culture. So I just felt like it was a little disingenuous when he put that tweet out. And it's all opinions. I think he plays back and forth on Twitter all the time about this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when Punch and other record executives put that kind of stuff out there, who's supposed to be grounded and deep in the culture, what are you doing to fix it? Who are you helping? Who are you funding? Who are you trying to get promoted to get the real shit out there? Because to me, this whole interview was nothing but a rollout for whatever's coming next for Kendrick. And Kendrick ain't even on TDE. So it might be a rollout for SZA. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we deserve more than just somebody going to another platform and, I don't know, something that's outside of what we enjoy. Again, when it said Harper's Bazaar, I was like, I have no idea what that is. But I found it and I read it because it's Kendrick. He's one of my favorite artists, and I want to be able to support him the best way I possibly can, even if that's reading an interview with his homie. Hopefully in 2025, we can get this stuff changed. Hopefully we can do better in 2025. But we can't do that when we have people like Punch or we have other executives not really giving us the call or actually looking out for the little guy when we really want to do the job and we want to do the work. Y'all call out trash, but you never want to polish the diamond. That's all I'm saying, man. Let me know what you think. Maybe we can change this up. Maybe we can do something different. Tell me in the comments, how do you feel about hip-hop journalism currently? Do you think it's a shit show? Do you think we need to change it up? Do you even want traditional interviews? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode. Short, sweet, to the point. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe today. Don't hesitate. Also, subscribe to the Patreon. I do extra content there. A lot of the bonus content come out there before it comes here. I do a show that's exclusive to Patreon called Hip Hop Survival Guide, where I talk about albums that I feel you could take anywhere and subscribe and listen to in any situation. So make sure you guys check that out as well. I'm out of here, guys. I'll catch you next episode. Peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.